Beyond lip service, addressing the issue of crime, a community's responsibility. All that is necessary for the triumph of evil is that good men do nothing. This is what is happening in our country. Here we see a young boy, maybe 8 years of age, already familiar with gang signs and mimicking shooting a gun. You see in his left hand he's showing the West Side Crips. He's dressed in blue, he's got his screw face on, and in his right hand he's mimicking a gun, thug life. Here's another picture, young boy, a little older, maybe 10, 11 years of age, already versed in the gang culture, professing allegiance to the West Side Crips. Young boys of secondary school age, well versed in gangster wear, practicing their screw face and showing allegiance to the West Side Crips. Here we see a young man, 25 years of age, thereabouts. He's partaking in the Culturama festivities in Nevis with 3 young ladies, and what's most important to him is to demonstrate the allegiance to his gang, the West Side Crips, as opposed to entertaining the young ladies. This is the same young man, roughly 2 hours later, when he was shot to death. This happened on the morning of Juve in Culturama. Juve is the celebration of emancipation. It should be second only to Christmas and Easter in our culture. Here's how our young people are celebrating it today. If we do not get involved, this is what we can reasonably expect the future for our children to be. At best, at worst. The choice is ours. Get involved and active in our community and or continue to ignore the problem or wait for others to get involved and solve the problem and deal with this. What can we do? The problem with addressing crime and crime detection and prevention is that it has become a billion-dollar industry. As a result, those in the industry want to make money. They continuously promote expensive solutions, things like satellite cameras, DNA technology, canine units, foreign experts. Those things are all nice to have, but are they necessary to address the problem? Here's the reality. This is the first crime. The first crime was committed in the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve had one law: do not taste the fruit from the forbidden tree. All males, when they shave around their Adam's apple in the morning, know exactly what happened. The fact of the matter is, mankind has been dealing with crime since the beginning of his time on this planet. We've been dealing with crime without DNA technology, without canine units, without satellite cameras, and we've been dealing with the matter relatively successful. All of these things are important, but they're not necessary. What is necessary is to follow the principle, keep it simple, stupid. Why? Because by keeping it simple, more people will be involved. The more complex and the more expensive a solution that we put forward, the more it will alienate the average person. The simpler the problem, the more people that will get involved. And furthermore, stupid. Why is stupid important? It is because we're dealing with stupid people. The intelligent criminal is a fabrication of Hollywood. Every person can name the great criminals through the years. Al Capone, Pablo Escobar, John Gotti. Why can we name them? Because they were all caught. Why were they caught? Because they're all stupid. In our own situation, our criminals are blatantly walking around identifying themselves by wearing uniforms. Red for Bloods, blue for Crips. Here's a phenomenal example of what a simple community action can do. On the left, we see the water dam in Bath. It's covered in gang slogans. It's an indication that this is Southside territory and gang names. As children walk by it each day, they are scared because it's a reminder of the gangs in their community. As our elders walk by, they're ashamed and they're intimidated. Why? Because again, it announces the criminal presence amongst their midst. The community got together, they painted over the water dam, they paid tribute to a traditional activity, the carrying of water. They put a positive slogan, unity is strength. By doing this, they demonstrated that this is not Southside territory, this is not gang territory, this is our community and the gangs don't belong. Children now walk by with a sense of pride, as do the elders. Crime and gangs are not a government problem. It is not a police problem. It is a community problem and therefore takes a community solution. What can we as community leaders do? Where does it start? Pivotal figures. These two pictures are terrifying when you look at them for what they are. On the left, we see a young man dressed in blue representing the Crips. We see a young boy standing on his right, either his son or his little brother, who's mimicking him by already showing knowledge of gang symbols with his hands. And what's even scarier is the baby in his arms. Again, either his son or his brother, and the child is trying to emulate the people that are important in his life, and at 2 years of age is already trying to work his fingers into gang signs. If no intervention takes place, this child, by the time he's 18, will be a hardened criminal because he's been initiated into the gang life for 16 years. The picture on the right is even more terrifying. We see a young man holding a little girl, either his daughter or his little sister. The child is just the picture of innocence, picture of happiness. The young man holds her in the left hand and shows an allegiance to the West Side Crips in the left hand. It is not a coincidence that he's holding the child in the same hands that he's demonstrating allegiance to the West Side Crips. This is an indication that the West Side Crips own this child, and this child is expected to grow up to be a Cripette. In the right hand, we're showing allegiance to the thug life with the emulation of a gun in his hand. This child's innocence should never be interrupted with this. Here we see two young boys, one using a cricket bat for what it's intended for, the other using a baseball bat as a sign of violence. What is the difference that led one child into the sporting activity and the other child to use the equipment for something other than? Every person who considers himself a success in society can sit back and point to one or two people in their lives and say, but for the intervention of that person, I may not have turned out to be the man or the woman I am today. The pivotal figure in people's lives is everything. In the previous picture, we see the children, their pivotal figures are gang members. This is where us as adults in the community have to start getting involved. We have to start providing positive role models for these children. As a father, my obligation doesn't end with my own children or at my doorstep in a community. As a father, I have an obligation to all children in my community to provide a positive role model and to assist them in the development of their life. It takes a whole village to raise a child. Where does this saying come from? It comes from the fact that raising children is the single most important job that we have in a community, and it is simply too large to leave to any single person or any couple of people. What happens when the village ignores the child? This is what's happening in the Federation today. Children are going to the gangs looking for what the family and the community should be providing them.